Hey everybody, welcome back to our neck of the woods. So today's video, hopefully it's Saturday. So Saturday and Sunday, we'll be able to finish up this garage wall. As you guys just saw, we got the first 5 panels on the trim board that the batten strips are gonna sit down on this side. And we've got everything caulked up. So that way, if any water does sit up there, it'll at least hit the siding, come on down to that piece of 7-inch trim there. It'll hit the caulking and kind of run off at kind of like a beveled edge there that the caulking's making. And then up and under here, we put a piece of trim to hide that nasty transition, which I don't know if you can see up here, but you've got the bottom of the zip panel right there, which is ugly. And then you've got the Smartside up there. And then when that panel comes down, you've got this nasty like edge. So just go ahead and trim it out with some 3.5 inch. And then we'll get all that painted up. And that outside board there, the fascia board, if you will, it is hanging about 1/4 inch low. So any water that does hit that and run on down, it doesn't want to backtrack up into the garage. It'll just fall straight down here to the concrete. And if it does track back a little bit, there's caulking between this 3.5 inch and the outside fascia. So that's kind of how I'm doing it. Not saying it's 100% or that's how everyone's going to do it, but it makes sense to me just in following the path of water. And then, yeah, so we can start kind of over in this corner with the batten strips going that way. The only thing I have to think about is how the heck are we going to put these cedar shingles up? I don't know if I should lay a row back there first to kind of build up the thickness a little bit. Not sure how I'm going to trim that out. I may need another 3.5 inch. So the batten strips have something to like dead end into. So they'll be like sitting on the 7-inch. And then if we put a transition line up there, they'll come up to the bottom of this 3.5 inch and that'll close those out. And then we take this guy and we'd have to set it up and over top of that transition. But if we don't put a first layer on first, then you're looking at having that first panel really at an angle because it's going to be sitting on 3/4 inch of trim and 3/8 trim of what the siding material is. So at least if the first panel you put on kind of like a starter strip, then you're only kicking out the thickness of this and you're not kicking out the thickness of both. So I don't know, to me that makes the most sense. So I'll probably just rip cut some of these down because we don't need that much. Maybe just rip cut one of those in half, 8 inches, let's say, set it on top of all the panels. And then once we get this first guy set 100% all the way across straight, then the batten strips can go up in dead end and then we can first put that first layer. So I'm gonna play with it for a minute and we'll just go from there and get back at it. All right, guys, another day coming to a close. Didn't get finished, obviously. Rain delay, plus I ran out of those pieces of trim that I was talking about. So again, real quick, you can see we've got trim all up and under over here. The only thing that kind of sucks is that light is right on a batten strip that should be coming down through it. So it's almost like, to stay with just everything being symmetrical and everything, it's like there should be one right here, but I think that's a small enough distance. I believe it's under 16 inches actually in between there, that it should be okay. Although it may be a little bit over, I don't know. But we've got a few more batten strips to go up over here, and then we'll finish out over there. And then tomorrow we'll get measuring the last probably 3 panels, maybe 2.5 panels over on this wall, hang the last light. And then we are gonna run out of this stuff up here. I'd say I destroyed 2 because I don't know, the level moved or something, or I wasn't paying attention on the one end where I was looking and the other end fell. So just by trying to take those off, I destroyed 2 panels. And like that corner, that last row up in there, it looks like it's touching. There's like a little sliver that I need a tongue and groove on. So that pretty much wastes an entire panel unless I can use that panel up in the very, very peak, since that won't need a tongue or a groove because it'll be going this way. So hopefully maybe like the last 2 panels, maybe even 3, I don't know. They don't need a tongue and groove at all, because then that way I can use some of these that are cut up in mistakes. But I've only got like 5 or 6 left. I think 7 actually. I got 7 left and 2 mistakes over here. Or I'm sorry, these aren't mistakes. I needed this panel over here. So like I said, hopefully like that will be the very top one I'll pick out. And maybe that will be the second row below it. So that's 2 panels kind of freed up there. But I still think we're gonna run out. So at least we'll get the whole bottom half done tomorrow. And then maybe if I get it done tomorrow, we'll transition to the back and go down just like we did on the front of the house. And then I need Aaron to pick the paint color that we're actually gonna go with, because we are, like I said, changing, not the color, we're changing from like a flat more to like a satin or something. So we'll figure all that out later. But yeah, so hang tight. And again, we'll be back at it tomorrow. Wanna know why I'm losing my mind on this lift? All right, everybody, it's Monday. I am pretty much finishing up here. I've only got like 4 panels left that I can actually do the cedar. But like I said, the whole bottom is all done. The lights are mounted. They're now grounded. I've painted around the ones with the batten strips because those are a little bit hard to get into. And I had to remove the glass on that one over there. But that one I kind of pre-painted before I even hung the batten strip because I knew it was going to be kind of hard to get to. But this one should be pretty easy because there's nothing really around there. And guys, that's what the side of the house is going to look like. So hopefully that gives you an awesome idea. I think it looks amazing. Makes it just look huge, and it breaks it up. It looks real good. The only thing, if I had one complaint, I wish the battens were maybe a little bit taller, because that makes a lot of cedar up there. So it's almost like this garage is like in thirds, which if you're symmetrical, that may look okay, because you got 9 feet there on the garage doors. You've only got about 7 something on the battens, because you got 7 inches that you need to subtract for the lower trim there. And then probably another 2 or 3 inches up there where the strip goes across and covers that up. And then you've probably got another, I don't even know, from the peak down to there, that's got to be at least 10 feet or more. So maybe it looks like it's symmetrical because the taller you go, the further away it looks. But that's it. So I'm gonna finish getting up there, and tomorrow or something, maybe we'll transition to the back of the house and start getting those knocked out. But the LP Smart Siding seems to be doing okay. The only complaint I really have with it is the 4x8 sheets. They are really warping. So I don't know if that's because they're laying on the ground here or what, but or maybe because they're going from an outside to an inside space. They're just kind of a pain in the butt to install because they're so big. But once you kind of get them nailed in, I think it's a little bit better. And then what I really like about it is I think you can use the 3/8 for maybe like a shed. I wouldn't use it for structural for a house for racking force, but that seriously adds some rigidity to that garage. Obviously, it's not going to be as strong as an ICF house, but the fact that you're nailing all that together and almost doing like 2 panels, which I actually ended up doing on the shed. That was a mistake by me. I should have just went straight with like the T11 LP on the shed and just did that for the walls. But I actually put 1/2 inch OSB up and then put the LP over that. So that shed is rack force is probably crazy strong too. But again, at least it makes me feel better that the house is like that much stronger and that much more secure. So, or the garage at least. But again, I'm gonna get up there and finish up. We'll see what I can do with these pieces that are kind of junk now. Install, if I didn't mention it before, super easy. Like I said, they've got a tongue and groove set up. So I just leave enough space to where 2 panels come together. So kind of like, it's not really a tongue and groove, it's just kind of like a lower and then an upper up here. And you're just leaving a big enough gap so that it kind of matches like this gap right here. And I don't know what overlay actually LP recommends. I may not have done it 100%. I know on cedar shingles, I tried to achieve like a 5-inch, but those are clearly more like 9 or 10 inches of overlap. But a cedar shingle goes from maybe 3/8 of an inch thick, and then it papers down to literally like the thickness of paper. So by doing a 5-inch, not only are you nailing like kind of like a house shingle, you're nailing the shingle that you just did through the one that's below it, so they're all nailed together and they're all locked in. These don't work that way, and I think because it's a full 3/8 thickness all the way, you would have to drop those panels down crazy low to be able to get a nail to go through the one on top and the one below. And I think that look would just be horrible to have such a massive shingle in height, but then to only cut it down to like maybe 5 inches. It just wouldn't look right. So by having like 9 or 10 inches exposed there, I think it looks better, but I don't think it's really gonna bow or kick out or anything because it's such a thick product and because they're so long and all one piece. So I'll have to actually check the instructions to how to install this. I may have done it wrong, but I don't care because that's what I would have gone with look-wise anyway, to have, again, it drop down pretty low there. And again, I think it looks great. So the only thing I have to do is finish up caulking, run out of material, and I'm glad I got my cuts all 100% because on the shed, I did end up putting a piece of trim where, like right there, I put a piece of trim so the batten strips had something to dead end into, but I'm not putting a piece of trim up in there. But on the shed, if you can see it all the way back there, there's a white inner piece of trim that goes all the way up and over. So not only do you have the outside front fascia, but you also have an inside fascia. Well, up in here on the shingles, I am not putting that. They're tight enough that I put a bead of caulking up in there, and now it's caulked to the T11. And then once we paint it all, I think it looks a little bit cleaner to not have a 3.5-inch board coming down through there where it's obviously going to be waving like this because each one of those boards is going to be kicked out more than the one that's below it. So it just wouldn't make sense to use it up there. But I'm gonna get back to this and see what I can do. And then I might be wrapping this video up here. So hang tight and I'll see what I can actually get done tonight. Yeah, everybody. So I am gonna wrap this one up here. So hopefully the video is long enough. I know I got some drone footage just now, so hopefully it looks cool. And we got some extra footage in there too for you guys. But tomorrow I'll order like 10 more panels up there, because once again, even in that little itty bitty kind of tiny corner on that very last one where again it looks like it's done, I literally need a male piece, or whichever one you call it, female, like that big. So it's like an entire waist of a panel. But at least on this end that I don't need the over top piece, I just need the under pieces for that side. I was able to cut those back, so now you can see they're not really lapping over the same as they used to. Like that last 2 rows up there, they're really close together, because those 2 pieces over there, I just went ahead and cut at the angle and didn't care about that outside piece. But that was all of them. I really only have a couple slivers here. Well, I got 1 piece here that I could have used. That right there could have been used as like another angle cut. But yeah, I don't know, I didn't measure it exactly. I thought I was going to be somewhere around 50 square feet or more. I can't remember, I'd have to go back and do the math. But those panels should have worked, but obviously I'm like 10 short, but that gives me a good idea for the other side of how many I need. And then unfortunately this guy here is on the wrong side, that I ended up using 2 pieces, because that would have been a perfect last piece to go up into that corner. But it's a straight cut bottom that needed to be flipped around. But yeah, we'll just order a couple more tomorrow. I'm going to leave the lift over here because this thing is also a huge pain in the you-know-what to move around. It doesn't even have the power to drive up this incline going up here. It gets stuck. And it couldn't drive into the garage if I wanted to. So this thing's just terrible. So I'm gonna leave it over here as long as possible. Do some painting and caulking and maybe first levels of painting like I did around the lights and down around the bases. That's not the right color, but at least where it's most important, where water's gonna get into, like up on there, the fascia above the garage, I'll go ahead and hit that with the paint that we already have, because we've got about a half gallon left, so might as well burn it up and use it. And then the second coat on all, again, the important spots, Aaron will get the right color. And I really think matte is not the way to go. I think we're gonna go with like a I think satin is above eggshell, so we should be able to get a little bit crisper of a look, I think. But from back here, you really can't tell. I think it still looks great being the dark black. But yeah, we just need to get the right paint color. And then last thing I want to show you guys, Erin finished out like kind of a weekend project over here. She completely repainted the fence and burned through the gallons that we had on the black paint. Looks weird though. It looks completely different, like as a matte black now. And she also finished out her, I guess you can call them flower beds. She went ahead and mulched all over the place, although it looks like something's already digging, because she wouldn't have left that like that. And yeah, I think that looks really good. Just sucks you have to do it mulching every year to keep it and maintain it, but that's a hell of a lot better than just some nasty grass going through there. So that's awesome. If you like it and like what you're seeing with the siding and everything, hit that thumbs up. If you need to personal message us, hit us up on Instagram at NeckofTheWoods 2020. And subscribe if you haven't already. So until next time, we'll see you guys then. Fingers crossed the rain holds out. And I've got a week and like 4 days left with this lift. Hopefully we can do some major damage. And God, this thing's just gonna look so awesome. So again, we'll see you guys next time. Hope you all take care.